It's Amber Scotchburn from Tutoring with a Twist, and I'm here for day 10 of e-learning. As we know, most kids around the world, almost, are not in school and physically not in school. And so they're doing their learning through e-learning or online learning as the physical bricks and mortar schools are closed down. And as part of our giving back, we are doing a couple things. We're doing some book clubs and a family fun day, and then I'm popping on with a tip. Given my background as a social worker, teacher, tutor, and parent, I thought that lending my expertise in these times would be helpful. Today's tip is actually around riding your bike. Now, in some places, we're not able to ride our bike right now, so not actually the physical act of going out and riding your bike, but more the metaphor at this point of riding your bike. So, when somebody learns to ride a bike, and you can also think of this in learning to walk as well. But usually with kids, I like to use the analogy of riding their bike because they don't remember when they learn to walk. However, you could always use learn to walk if they have a younger brother or sister that they went through the process with. But learning to ride their bike usually is something that kids can relate to. And so, why am I talking about learning to ride your bike? I'm thinking that if everybody embraced this time of e-learning as an opportunity to practice something just as you did when you learned to ride your bike. So oftentimes we might start this process of learning something new and we may give up. Lots of times we hear from kids at our tutoring agency that they feel like they can't do something or they feel like it's on them to figure something out. And with our help, we like to have them switch that mindset. And one of the analogies or way in which we do that is through this learning to ride your bike. So we don't want kids to be asking, what do I want to be when I give up? We want them to be fully embracing the learning process. And so part of how kids can do that is through this analogy. So let's pretend that we go back in time to when we learned to ride a bike. Well, at the beginning, we may ride into trees, maybe hydro poles or boxes, whatever's kind of around the sidewalk, maybe a parked car. Um, and it's okay. We're encouraged to do that because we're encouraged to make these mistakes and fail. And then you're riding your bike, and maybe your parent is there and they're holding on to the side of the bike for you because they want to guide you down the path. Maybe there's training wheels on your bike. Maybe there is a special place you go ride, like the grass instead of the road, just to make sure you're safe. So, first off, you have the cheering team and encouragement and support to try when you fall off and try again. You have these extra aids in place, be it the training wheels, the grass, so this kind of environment that you're in, and maybe your parent right there helping you. And then you have the time where you graduate from that, if you will, and maybe then the training wheels come off. Maybe the parent can let you go. Maybe you go from the grass to the sidewalks. And then obviously there's a progression from there to where you maybe are able to ride by yourself. Maybe when the parks reopen, you are able to do that. Maybe it's riding to the corner store and getting a pop or I don't know, something fun for the first time. Maybe it's going to your friend's house and then you have that freedom. And so there's all these stages to learning to ride your bike. But along the way, you're encouraged and you're supported, even though you're failing, even though there's going to be mistakes along the way. And I really want you to invite you to think of this e-learning or homeschooling journey with your kids as this. It's just an opportunity to learn, and there's going to be stages. So, who can help guide you? Who's on your team to help guide you? What training wheels might you need in order to be successful? What um, environment do you need to create in order to be successful? And if any of those fail and don't work, are you able to still support and encourage yourself and your kids and the other team people around you? Like, okay, that didn't work. We set up the environment this way, it didn't work. Or we tried this particular program or this particular way of doing something and it didn't work. Or, we did ask this person for support, but that didn't help. So maybe we'll ask this person for support. And so you're trying these things, but you're constantly getting back up. You're getting back on that seat and you're trying it again in the next moment or the next day. And there's nothing wrong in that, right? We celebrate when kids do that. And then once you get that, it may not be like instantaneous, right? So it may take several moments to get it, several days, maybe a week or two. And then you've got one of those things right. And then you celebrate that and you really encourage and cheer for them the next progression. And so maybe the next progression. So for instance, if your child is working in an environment, it's not working, you figure out how to get it working. You kind of celebrate, you pause and celebrate that. And then that's kind of one thing done, one thing off the checklist. But you wouldn't know that if you constantly felt like you can't do it, or your child constantly felt like they can't do it. So you really just want to look at this e-learning time, this homeschool learning time as this progression. Pretend you're riding a bike, you're going to fall, you're going to get scraped, you're going to get back on. And then as you go through different stages of it, there'll be different cheerleaders there and you'll do it. You'll be successful. So today is short and sweet. And I hope you get something out of that in terms of learning to ride your bike, and you can explain that analogy to your kids as well as use it for yourself. And it's Amber Scotchburn, Tutoring with a Twist. Also, should mention that we have our bilingual book club happening on Tuesdays at 3 p.m. And on Thursdays, we have The Hobbit on our Tutoring with a Twist page. And on Fridays, we have Family Fun Day. So check them out. And also, love hearing from you. Let me know if there's anything you want me to address. We're also on the Beach radio station on Mondays, and we're addressing questions there too. And just trying to do our best to help everybody get through. Let's end with what we've been ending with, which is find your heart beat, whether it's your pulse in your neck, whether it's on your wrist, or whether it's in your heart. And you take that moment, feel it, realize you're winning if you're feeling it, and just get through that moment. Signing out for today, Amber Scotchburn, Tutoring with a Twist. Thanks.